Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help entrepreneurs to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So, this is going to be part one of a 4-part series in which we are going to talk about being more aligned in your business. And bear with me if you're watching the video, because I did take notes on this just to make sure I cover the things that I wanted to cover today. As much as I love my rabbit trails and whatever comes through, I did want to make sure I hit some specific points. So on the video, if you see me look away, it's simply because I'm checking my notes. That's it. No worries there. Now on the audio, you're not going to see that. You may hear me pause for a second, but we're going to work through this because I wanted to make sure that I touched on some things today. So the topic for today's episode is the real reason why you're stuck, even if you're successful, right? And this can be true for so many reasons, right? But this is for the person who feels like you're doing all the things. And maybe you're getting some of the clients you want. Maybe you're not getting all of the clients, but you're still getting some of that success. It just doesn't feel like it's all there. And so the issue with this, the real reason that you're stuck, isn't that your business isn't supposed to be successful. It's that you're a little bit out of alignment. And what does that mean? That means oftentimes when we get started in our business, we can find kind of a groove of stuff that works. We're like, oh yeah, this works, posting here works, the podcast works, the YouTube works, right? You see things that work, but unfortunately, somewhere along the way, it becomes mundane and routine. And when it becomes mundane and routine, it stops having that energetic pull to it. It stops mattering, because you're just kind of going through the motions. It's no longer bringing you the joy, the excitement, the passion or the vision isn't behind it what it was before, right? And I've seen this happen in my own life, where, all of a sudden I went from making high 5 figures a month, or whatever, 5 figures a month to 0 figures a month, simply because I got out of alignment. And as a high achiever, you're like, well, it worked before, why won't it work again? And it can feel very frustrating to kind of get stuck in this rut where you feel like you are kind of spinning your wheels. And you're like, but I'm doing all the things. Why is it just not landing? Why is it just not working? Because I'm doing all the right things, right? I'm doing all the things that I did before that seemed to work, but now they don't seem to work. Well, there's a couple of reasons why this doesn't actually work. Mainly, one, you're out of alignment, right? But what the heck does that mean? Well, that means that whatever passion and joy and vision that you had initially when you were doing those things for your business, that kind of mission has drifted a little bit. You're not totally sold on it anymore. And so it's going to feel off. It's going to not land properly, which is why you're probably getting some clients, but maybe not as many clients as you want to be getting, right? And so what do you have to do to get back, right? You're feeling stuck. This is your business, but your offers aren't lighting you up. You're not excited about this at this point, right? And I've been there. I've done that. I've thrown a bunch of offers out there, just kind of like spaghetti on the wall to see what would actually stick. But the truth is, I wasn't thrilled about any of them. And so it was no wonder they were having minimal success, if any, because I wasn't excited about it. I was out of alignment with it. And so it comes back to that vision. Okay, so you started your business with a specific vision in mind. And maybe that vision has shifted a little bit. Maybe you've narrowed down who it is that you want to work with, or maybe you've decided, that you are actually more aligned with a different type of marketing. Maybe you just don't love being on Facebook anymore. You would prefer to hang out on LinkedIn, where those people are, right? Different audience. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do, and this is something I posted about on LinkedIn the other day, is if you are getting to this point where it doesn't feel like things are working as well as they used to, it's not time to continue to grind. This is not where you throw out more offers and you reach out to more people and you commit to more work. That actually isn't going to help you. What will help you is to actually step back and get back into alignment. Get back into alignment with the vision of your business. What do you want it to be? What do you want it to look like? How can you refresh this, right? And so here are a few questions that you can absolutely ask on how to get back into your vision, how to get clearer on what it is that's actually happening. So again, if you are feeling stuck and you're not achieving the level of success that you have in the past or that you want to, right? Maybe you're trickling things, but it's not what it could be, what you know it could be. I am going to encourage you to just slow down for a second. Doing more of what's not working is not going to get you anywhere. I mean, it's going to get you somewhere, but it's not going to get you where you want to go, right? So this is like if you have a recipe for making cake and that cake comes out terrible and you continue to use that recipe, you're going to continue to have bad cake, right? That's just the way it's going to work. I had to do this recently with my sourdough, right? The recipe that I was using for my sourdough wasn't working. And I kept using it. And I think I threw out like 3 or 4 loaves until I finally stepped back and said, okay, you know what? This recipe for doubling my sourdough is not actually working. So let me readdress this and see what's actually, like, what will actually work better. And I did some workshopping on it, changed the recipe a little bit, and voila, right? My sourdough now is incredible. The same happens in your business. So if the things that you're doing aren't getting you the results that you want, continuously doing them is not going to help you. It's going to make you feel even more frustrated. You're going to waste a whole bunch of time and energy on something that's not actually working. And so stepping back and getting clear again about who you're working with, what the work is that you actually do. And this is where a coach can come in handy to ask you those questions that maybe you're not ready to ask yourself, or you're not entirely sure what questions to ask, right? You're like, well, I just feel like I'm doing the things, but they just don't seem to be working, right? And this gives you an opportunity to actually recommit to the vision. Maybe it needs to be tweaked a little bit. Maybe you don't love the idea, as I mentioned before, about posting on Facebook. You'd much rather hang out on LinkedIn, right? Whatever it is, you've got to get back into alignment for it to take off like you want it to. So it's not that you're stuck because you're unmotivated and your offers are crappy. Okay. Chances are your offers are actually really good, but you're not sold on it because you're out of alignment right now. Because chances are that there is something out there that you really, 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 really want to talk about. You really want to help your clients with. And maybe there's a little bit of fear there. Or there's some doubt because you're like, well, this feels a lot like what somebody else does. I don't know if somebody's going to buy from me, right? And we'll workshop that, right? Like there's work to be done, deeper work to be done to get you back into alignment so that you can get back to the level of success that you create. So as I said, I didn't say this already, but if you are feeling stuck, even though you've reached a certain level of success, it can be time for a refresh. And that happens regularly. You've got to reignite yourself around a goal that you're working towards, right? Because maybe the thing that you're doing isn't working. I'm currently in a refresh phase myself because, yes, I love the workout routine that I was doing where I was swimming, biking, running. My body was tired and needed some stretching. And so I've taken the last couple of weeks off from the running, biking, swimming, and I've done yoga almost every day. And it's rejuvenated me. And I will get back into my running, biking, and swimming, but I just needed that reset to bring myself back into that stretching. Also knowing that I need to bring the stretching in more regularly into my regular workout routine, where I'm doing it at least once a week, so that I don't have this kind of buildup of tense muscles. And this, again, the same is true for your business. It's not because your business is a failure and your offers are crappy. You just need to get back to that joy, right? Like, what is it that excites you about it? Who are you excited to talk to? What problem are you excited to solve? Who are you looking forward to, like, connecting with? And reconnect with that person when you're speaking on social media or whatever platform you're using to attract clients. So I'm sending you so much love. This is episode 1 of Aligned Business series. We're going to do, as I said, a 4-part episode here. So if you do have any questions about this, or this hits home, please reach out to me on Instagram and DM me Aligned, and I would be happy to give you more information about what my private coaching program looks like, because this is part of the work that I do with my clients. It's not about just having a successful business monetarily. It's about having a fulfilled business. You want to feel great about your business. You want it to add to your life instead of drain from it. And that's part of my work. So if you have any questions, or if this is something that you're interested in, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to connect with you. You can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, all the things. You can find all of that on my website at stephaniesnyderphd.com. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.